Hey guys, I realized there was a lot of information in response to something about ADHD, so I thought I would talk a little bit about working memory. Working memory basically is the ability that we all have to hold information temporarily in our heads for a short period of time. So basically how we store information actively and how often we can hold that information while paying attention to something else or while we're doing something. So let's say, for example, you are remembering a phone number while you're looking for a pen, or trying to write out an address or remember an address while you're trying to get for a pen. That's you using your working memory. Or when you're doing math or in your head or remembering what you just read. Those are things that you're doing with your working memory, right? We all have certain space in our brains to hold that information. So in terms of the working memory, ADHDers have an impairment in their working memory. And I thought I would do a little bit of a visual to help out any confusion when it gets to ADHDers need to do better with their memory. It's not that they're not doing better. So let me show you a little bit. We all have a certain amount of space in our brains to hold information in our working memory. So let's say this is the neurotypical brain, someone without ADHD, and this one is an ADHDer. Whenever they receive information, an ADHDer, especially verbally and auditory, meaning reading, remembering what someone says, that's the working memory, and that's the part that ADHDer have a problem with, because that's where they have their working memory is impaired. So let's say this is the space that the ADHDer have in their brain to hold memory. Now an ADHDer is receiving information. They read a book. The spouse said something. The kid said something. Baseball game. Bills. This is the information they're receiving. Now, as information is getting in, some information, when it's full, starts going out and they're forgetting it. Why? Because the brain needs space to remember the information. You see the point? See how the brain is getting full? The working memory is getting full. So it's not that they're not working hard, they're not in therapy. It's that they have an impairment in their working memory because their ADHD or brain is that way. It's already full and things are already getting out. Imagine they have to deal with this regulation, a big feeling. Things are getting out of their brain. Why? Because whether you want to accept it or not, ADHDers have a working memory problem. Now let's see neurotypical brain. Bills, emotional problems, a big feeling, sports, paying the bills. They still have space. Look at the space they still have in their brain to process everything in the day. So you guys, when it comes, I can still put things. Even if I jiggle this around, there's still space to process everything in the day for a neurotypical brain. So the difference between an ADHD brain and the working memory and a person without ADHD is that a person without ADHD has their working memory is not impaired. ADHDers are not dumb, they're not lazy. Their working memory is what is affected. It's not that they're dumb, it's not that they're not trying. So please, when you're writing or analyzing or judging ADHDers, understand it is something in their brain that they're born with. So let's be kind and have empathy. Keep on swimming, guys, and keep on the good fight. Hope this helps.